Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Momma Jo's Kitchen. I hope everybody is having a wonderful day. It is really chilly, cold, brisk day out there. For the weather that we've been having here lately, we've been having 70 and 80 degree weather, and today it's quite chilly. I think Mother Nature is playing April Fool's Day on us a day later. Anyhow, what do I have for you all today? Well, I have a big pan here. This is a 13-inch pan. You do not need a 13-inch pan. I am using this only because I have a lot of meat that I want to, brown on both sides. And I'm using this burner back here that I have trouble regulating for some reason, but it's the largest surface area one that I have. So I had my pan over there for a little bit and it just got too hot. So I removed the pan off of the heat. And in this pan, I have some bacon grease. You don't have to have bacon grease. You could just use, whatever oil or grease you have on hand. We're going to be browning up these pork. These are center cut pork loin chops, boneless, of course. But I didn't realize that I got the really thin ones. So I hope I don't end up overcooking them, because I don't want them to be dry and I don't want them to be tough for what we're making today. Okay, we're going to make pork Marsala over, I call these egg noodles. These are not the ones I normally buy. These are the ones that I usually use for like in soup. But this is the only one that I have right now. So I'm just going to use these. And I don't need to show you how to cook, noodles. So you won't see me cook the noodles, but we're going to do the pork together. Let's talk about some ingredients, okay? So we have the bacon grease. We have the pork. Okay, here in this container, I have 1 cup of all-purpose flour that I have seasoned really well. I put in a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of black pepper, a teaspoon of paprika, a teaspoon of garlic powder, and a teaspoon of onion powder. And I just mixed them in there. And I'm going to take the meat and we are going to dredge each side and then we're going to brown it. And I think I'll go ahead and do that first. I'll put this back here on the heat. And then I'm going to show you as I start to dredge them and get them in there. I'm not going to fry them really long. I mean, they're not going to take long at all. But I am going to remove them. Excuse me. Got a tickle in my throat. I'm just going to brown them and then I'm going to take them out of the pan. I'm going to set them aside while we work on some other stuff. Yeah, I got this package, I think I got at Walmart. So I was in a hurry. My mother and I was in there. And I was just like rushing through and I saw a pack and I just grabbed them and I put them in the bottom of my cart. I didn't realize they were that thin. Okay, I might not get these all in this pan, but I'll see how many I can get in here. I'm probably going to have to do 2 batches. All right, let me see. Now see, I turned that down, and now it's not even sizzling. So I think what I'll do is I'll take that one out. Okay, I'll bring that back up to temperature. That's the only trouble I have with this stove. If some of you have been following me, this is the burner I use all the time. This burner I have, you know, I know exactly, you know, what setting to have it on and everything. And I use the burners in the back occasionally, like if I'm doing like some side dishes and things. But for some reason, this burner over here, it's like I can't regulate it. You know, if I have it up on high, it's too high. And then if I turn it down, like I had it on a 6, it wasn't doing really anything. You know, that's, you know, like right now it's red, but it won't stay red. So there may be something wrong with that burner. Push comes to shove, if I have to, I can try to, you know, move it over here to this side. But you know, this diameter here is a lot smaller, and I have this big pan. So let's talk about maybe some other ingredients that we're going to need since I'm waiting on that. After I take the meat out, I plan on, I've got a really finely chopped, almost like a minced shallot. And then I have a tablespoon of just the jar of minced garlic. I have a tablespoon of what's really considered fresh parsley, but it's kind of been in a refrigerator, so it's kind of dried up a little bit, but I'm still going to use it. And then I have a teaspoon of Italian seasoning. And then over here, this is 6 ounces of wild mushrooms. I think there's shiitake, there's baby bella, there is oyster mushrooms that I've already rinsed, and then I took them and put them on a paper towel and tried to get as much of the moisture off of them, and they're just sitting here to the side. And let me show you what I did here. I took a cup of water and I stuck it in a microwave, and then I put in a teaspoon of that Better Than Bouillon vegetable base. And then for our, for when we go to do the mushrooms, I have here, I'll see what my pan looks like. I might have to clean my pan out. I might not have to. I have 2 tablespoons of butter, and I have 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And if you can find the good stuff, the real stuff, go with the real stuff. But I went to Walmart, and this is the only thing I could find. I'm using the Holland House. This is in the cooking, baking section, down where the oil, vinegar stuff is, Marsala cooking wine. And I'm probably going to use about a half a cup of that. You know, use more or less per your taste. All right, I'm thinking that oil should be hot. Let's see. Let me get that one piece back here. All right. Yes, that's better. See how many pieces I can get in here. And I've got just enough bacon grease in the bottom of this pan. Probably about 1/4 if I had to guess, but that's a really, you know, big pan. Okay, I have 7 more pieces over there. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I got 7 pieces in here. Okay, so let me get these browned on both sides. You don't need to watch me do that. I'll get them taken out and put on a, another tray or pan. And when I get them done, when we, I'll make sure my pan, you know, if I have too much grease in there, I'll take some out. I'll probably take all of that out. Or I'll keep some of it in there, some of the little bits and the brown stuff in there, because that's going to help, you know, with our flavoring our food. If I have any extra flour left in here, don't throw your flour out because we might end up using some of that. I'll bring you back.
Okay, here's what we're looking at. Like I said, they don't need to fry too long on each side because these will be done real quick. I've got the last 7 in there now. So as soon as I'm getting ready to flip these over, and then I'll add them over here, and then I'll bring you all back.
Alright, pan is hot. Okay, here's all the meat that's been browned. Okay, I don't have that much grease in the bottom there. I got a lot of little brown bits, but we're going to leave them in there because we're going to use that to help flavor, you know, the rest of our food. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to go ahead and get that oil and butter in here. Let me get that melted. I'm kind of loosening up, you know, any of the brown bits here on the bottom. Okay, let me get the shallots in. So, like I said, I've got the brown bits still in there. Okay, I'm going to get my mushrooms in there. Now you can use whatever mushrooms that you like. I happen to just come across these in my local Weiss market. And I know Michael likes the button mushrooms, or the shiitake and the baby bella. I'm not sure about the oyster mushrooms, but he probably does. He probably likes them too. This pan is really hot. Here's that garlic. That was just a little bit of the olive oil that was left in there. This is my Italian seasoning. And then I have that parsley. Okay, remember I told you to save that flour? Here it is. This flour is really seasoned, so I'm not adding salt because there's already plenty of salt and pepper in here. Now I could taste it here in just a second too. I got distracted here for a second. I'm looking for, there we go. I'm going to sprinkle maybe 2 of those spoons in there. Okay, now I'm going to take my Marsala cooking wine, about 1/2 cup. I have my water for the noodles back there on too. I'm trying to get them to start to come to a boil. Sorry about that noise. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add the 1 cup of, looks like it's a little under a cup now since I microwaved it, but that is the water where I put the vegetable base in. Okay, I'm getting ready to bring that back up to heat. I still have something else. This is all I had. I think I will use it all because I have all that pork to put back in there. This is 3/4 cup of heavy cream. All right, let me get a little spoon. To see if it needs salt or anything. I don't think it does. Michael likes things a little saltier than me. But I'm going to put this pork back in there and I'm going to put the lid on it. Actually, you all might want a closer look before I do that. Let me bring you down so you can see.
See how it's starting to boil? Here's the sauce. Isn't that a pretty sauce? Now I'm going to get my the pork in here, nestle down in there, and put the lid on it.
All right, let's get this pork pieces in here. They're just going to fit. Would you believe that? Any kind of juice or anything in here, put it all in there. All your little bits and everything. Let me turn that down. All right, let me get the lid on here. Okay, I'm going to let that cook probably maybe about 10 minutes. I'm going to keep an eye on it. I don't trust this burner. I do have it down on the lowest setting. I'm working on back here I'm working on the water for the noodles. So all I have to do now is get the noodles cooked. I'll get them strained off. I'll get everything plated up, and Michael should be here soon and give you all taste tests. So I hope you all enjoyed that, and I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks.
How you doing, YouTube? Welcome to Momma Jo's Kitchen. Today's specialty is pork Marsala over egg noodles. So I'm just going to take a little cut of the pork here. And let's get some noodles, some gravy, and a mushroom. All right, well, you remember how I said I want the Eggs Benedict for my birthday? I think I'm going to change that. That's very good. Hearty. 2 thumbs up. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Check out Momma Jo's videos. She makes it. Check out all our videos. Come out and get you some. Thank you. Good night. That's freaking good.